The manifestation determination meeting. It is a procedural safeguard for children that have behavioral concerns that their behavior negatively impacts or violates the student code of conduct, which then would have the administration or school district determine that a change in placement is required. Now, when does that trigger? That triggers either when the school district proposes a change of placement for longer than 10 days, or it triggers once the child has been out of school suspended for 10 days, for more than 10 days. Now, it can happen all at once, or it can happen 1 day here, 2 days there. Over the course of an entire school year, the school has 10 days. They don't have to give you a reason for out of school suspending your child if your child has an IEP and it's under those 10 days. That's how many they're allowed and they're permitted before it's considered a change in placement. And a change in placement is connected to what the IEP developed with regards to your child's IEP and where they should be spending their time getting their instructional setting and their IEP services. Okay, so that's where that change in placement requires or triggers this procedural safeguard of having a manifestation determination meeting to determine whether or not the conduct that infringed the student code of conduct, whether it was substantially connected or related to your child's disability, not necessarily their eligibility category. They're not necessarily the same thing, according to the child's disability, which is connected to their diagnostics. Okay, so that is very important because many schools mess up in this area and they apply an eligibility category. But I've had many students that their autism spectrum disorder, but at the same time, they qualified for an IEP under, let's say, specific learning disability. And so you wouldn't apply the standard for a manifestation determination off of a specific learning disability. You would do it based upon their disability, which is connected to their diagnostics. The other question that you have to answer at a manifestation is whether or not the school district implemented the IEP as it was supposed to be implemented. That's connected to appropriateness. And obviously, if there's been a lot of behaviors that ended up reaching to a level of 10 days, then my big question as I'm sitting in these meetings is, why haven't you done something about that behavior plan? Because obviously the behavior plan hasn't been working, or is there even one in effect? And did you do a good functional behavior assessment to determine what the antecedent or the trigger of the behaviors are? Because if you haven't, then I don't know how a school district can sit there with a straight face and say that they implemented an IEP.